Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais with another episode of the weekly wrap up for the Yakking Show. And this is for the week ending 21st of February 2025. And sincere apologies, we missed doing our video last week, and it was all my fault. I picked up a rather nasty dose of the flu and was not much use to man or beast when we should have been recording this video, so I'm afraid we had to give it a miss. But anyway, we're all on the mend now. First, let's welcome Kathleen, looking as fit as a fiddle. How are you today, Kathleen?
I'm doing great, Peter. Thank you. And thank you also very much for tuning in. And I'm sorry that you were unwell, Peter, but I'm glad that you've bounced back.
Oh, yes. Oh yes, yes. My only regret is I haven't walked for a week because it's been so cold in this part of the world, like minus 17 centigrade, and I thought having just got over the flu, it could be a bit risky walking in the early morning in those temperatures. So the
Yeah.
weekend is going to be up close to the freezing point, so we'll be back walking again. Yeah,
Good.
and
Good.
I know we don't want to keep on about the weather, but just to mention to our southern hemisphere friends and followers that we have had more snow in this part of the world than we've had for what, like 15 winters, I think. We have piles of snow around us. Absolutely amazing. Keeping us busy clearing snow. Anyway,
For sure.
so Kathleen, do you want to get rid of me? I mean, stop me talking about weather and dive into your health topic for this
I
week?
do, Peter. And Peter, we just published a wonderful, wonderful interview with a guest named Dee Mani. And Dee talks about her overcoming her terminal cancer by consuming cannabis oil. And that's an interview she was so good. I urge everybody to watch that interview. But anyway, she's also a
Hmm.
blogger. And I wanted to share one of her articles with you today. And it really is interesting. This is about the real causes of dementia. And what she gets
Hmm.
into is that dementia really isn't just bad luck in the genetic lottery. It's a sign of a system breakdown, a brain overwhelmed by inflammation and toxicity. And the key contributors to all this, Peter, she says, toxicity overload, which is the silent brain killer. And these come from heavy metals such as aluminum and mercury. Believe it or not, people are still have mouths full of mercury from fillings. And these are neurotoxic substances that have been linked to cognitive decline and brain damage. And aluminum is found in cookware still to this day, deodorants, and even vaccines. And that all accumulates in the brain over time, causing oxidative stress and cellular damage. Another contributing factor is pesticides and herbicides found in non-organic produce. These chemicals disrupt the nervous system and have been linked to neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and even Parkinson's disease. Also,
Hmm.
processed foods and additives, artificial sweeteners, MSG, and food preservatives are designed to enhance flavors, right? But there's a cost to that, and that these interfere with the brain's functioning, leading to inflammation and impaired cognition. Also, fluoride, right?
Hmm.
We've known
Yep.
fluoride is a neurotoxin. It impairs memory, learning abilities. It disrupts the pineal gland, which is crucial for brain detoxification. Believe it or not, jabs and pharmaceuticals, adjuvants in vaccines, they're aluminum-based adjuvants in vaccines that are designed to trigger an immune response, but what they do is also accumulate in the brain, leading to chronic inflammation and neurotoxicity. Statins and other medications, also polypharmacy. They call it polypharmacy, but what it means is multiple medications. And the elderly are often prescribed a cocktail of drugs. If they're on osteoporosis drugs or on high blood pressure medications, and the list goes on. Well, all of these drugs interact with one another. And oftentimes the doctors don't understand the synergistic effects of taking one medication with another medication. All they know is that this medication is creating symptoms, and they prescribed another medication to counteract the symptoms of that first medication. It's very upsetting. So, as Dee says, if dementia isn't genetic, then why do families see a pattern? So what is it? So, according to what her article says here, dementia appears in families not because of genetics, but because of shared lifestyles and environments. And when you think
Mhm.
about it, Peter, it makes perfect
Yeah,
sense. You
of
eat
course
the
it does.
same foods that you've grown up with because your parents, that's what they made for you. You live in that same lifestyle. If your parents were heavy smokers, chances are you probably, that's the kind of lifestyle that you grew up in. So how do you reverse this? There is a way to reverse it. So you can protect your brain and reverse the damage by detoxifying yourself from the heavy metals and toxins, fueling your brain with the right nutrients and healthy fats and antioxidants. And she also encourages the use of CBD and cannabis. Studies suggest that cannabinoids help protect and regenerate brain cells. Also important are your vitamins D3 and K2, as well as magnesium. And of course, exercise, stay socially engaged, and challenge your mind. So that's what she had to say about that, Peter.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah. And of course, when you think about lifestyle families, people tend to, many children live in a similar area to where their parents live, so they're exposed to the same environmental toxins. They will tend to follow the same medical and vaccination protocols as they were brought up with. So, yeah, you can see why there's so many epigenetic factors that can perpetuate this problem from generation to generation, right? Very interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
got to tell our audience a quick one about multiple medications. This an elderly friend from Zimbabwe needed a knee replacement, and because of the terrible economy in Zimbabwe, his medical insurers didn't want to send him to South Africa for the surgery because of the expense. So it was cheaper to send him to India as a medical tourist, right? And they even paid for his wife, and they were treated like five-star guests. They couldn't say enough about how well they were treated in India. So they went over there and he had his meeting with the surgeon, and the surgeon said, "Oh, I don't like your health." What? And he was in his 80s, right? Had heart issues. What's your list of medications? So he says, here, and he pulls out this long, long list of medications. And this Indian doctor is absolutely horrified. He said, "Why are you on so many medications?" Well, this is what doctors say. The Indian doctor goes through and he says, "This is just like you said, Kathleen. This one is working against this one. Therefore, they gave you that one, which is working against that one." So he said, "I'm not doing surgery on you when you're so full of pills that you shouldn't be taking. We're going to sort your health out first, your medicines first." They sent him home with a revised, very much shortened list of medication. He started feeling a lot better, and then he went back and had the knee surgery. But that doctor in India picked that up. Isn't that amazing? Eh?
Isn't it? I mean, it just, I'm
Yeah,
actually seeing it with my own mother right now with different
yeah, of course.
medications, and it's like, no, and she wants off of them, but I think the key is to wean off certain medications, right? You never want to stop cold turkey on certain medications because that can be harmful. But yeah, I mean, yep.
Anyway, so you wanted to talk about one of your favorite Dr. Morse products. You were going to remind everybody the benefits of one of them. What are we talking about today, Kathleen?
Peter, what I'd like to talk about is a little bit is the ultimate salve, and I don't know if you can see that,
Yep,
but
yeah,
it's a
well,
beautiful Dr. Morse product. It's a synergistic blend of high quality organic, nourishing oils and top quality herbs. And this salve actually blows away any competition in terms of its strength and quality. It's a deep green, as you can see here.
oh yeah, yeah.
And you can use it on practically anything. I've even known people to use it on like a shingles eruption where
Mhm.
they put that on the on and it helps heal scarring. It is very, very, very soothing. So any scrapes or cuts or anything like that, it's a staple in my house now. So this is what I run for. I've been through enough of these now, but uh, it's a wonderful salve, Peter. And just to let you know, it's got golden seal root. It's got aloe vera resin, astragalus, burdock leaf, cat's claw. So I mean, there's just packed full of goodness.
Hmm. Very good.
We will provide
Okay,
a link to that product in below this video. And if you go to Dr. Moore's and put in Yakking Show, you will get a discount on all of his products.
great. Thanks for that, Kathleen.
Yes.
So let's tell you what has been happening on the Yang Show. Well, as Kathleen very adequately described, our guest on Tuesday was Dee Mani, and I'll endorse what Kathleen said. Well worth watching that episode. If you've got health issues that conventional medicine may or may not be addressing, if you want to look at a different perspective, then listen to this one. And it was quite a stretch for me to accept what she was saying, having been brought up to believe that any involvement with any form of mind-altering drug was a total no-no because of my conservative background. After listening to Dee, it made a lot of sense, and I went out and bought myself a bottle of cannabis oil because I have had a long, and I mean over 40-year history of skin cancers. And even though I'm no longer spending a lot of time in the sun and not in the tropics, I'm still getting them. So I thought this is worth trying. So I've only recently started. I can't tell you if it's working or not yet, but I'm sleeping better. So that's probably a good sign. Yeah, quite amazing.
Yes,
And
sleep is important, Peter. That's when your body heals is through sleep. So
that's right. Yeah, it's a little tricky in these cold mornings. So normally I get up at about between 2 and 3 in the morning to go and put wood on the furnace, right? And the day before yesterday and last night, I slept right through till 4 in the morning. In which case, time the fire's gone out, it's down to 17 in the house. That's a bit cool. But anyway, at least I'm catching up on my sleep. So that's a really good episode to watch or listen to. And Dee also provided us with a blog post on her story, which is on our website, theyakingshow.com. Who have we got coming up? Well, we have Scott Bucher coming in 2 weeks' time, and he is a brain mechanic. He helps people overcome traumatic brain injuries. He had a traumatic brain injury himself, and he has re-established his everything mental. He sounds absolutely normal,
Mhm.
and yet, from what he says, he was quite bad. So he helps people overcome these issues, and he's got quite a few interesting ways that he does that. So that's also a very good one. And then 2 weeks after that will be Kathleen's friend from Ireland. And I know Kathleen, when we were recording this interview, it was all we could do to keep Kathleen from hopping on a plane going back to Ireland. But
That's
Thea
right.
Trussler, who Thea trains service dogs to help children with ADHD, or I think any age,
Any age, yeah.
people with
PTSD.
people with other medical issues that could be fatal if they're not attended to in a hurry. People who live on their own and the things that they can get these dogs to do
Amazing.
is absolutely incredible. But I don't want to give it all away. If you want to watch that and listen to that, it'll be in 4 weeks' time. Fascinating what she's doing with dogs. Really, really good. So that's what's coming up. What about, do you want to comment on any of our guests there,
Oh,
Kathleen?
they're all fabulous. Peter, I'm just so thrilled with the quality of the guests that we have on this show. And we are also learning so much from them, aren't we? So,
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We got a few surprising ones coming in the not too distant future as well. I'm just giggling about the lady we're going to interview next week.
I know we're going to talk about sex.
That's right. Yes. And we're going to be learning from an 80-year-old expert too. So
Yes, that's right. So stay tuned. We're going there.
stay tuned.
We are. We're
That's
going
right.
there.
Slowly and carefully, but we're going there. Um, Our book, our featured author this week is the very own, this week's guest, Dee Mani, with her book. It's called My Way, Following the Cancer Brick Road, and how she overcame her cancer with cannabis oil and CBD and other natural remedies, lifestyle changes. Uh, and she was virtually given up for dead, wasn't she? She was told she'd have a year to live. If she, yeah, maybe two if she went chemotherapy and radiation. She said no, and here she is, 8 years later, still going strong. So that's all in her book. That's our featured book for the week. And I think, Kathleen, that's about it from me, except to remind everybody, we've got all these interesting guests, so make sure you don't miss out on guests. hop onto our website, yakishow.com, and sign up for our newsletter. We just send you one a week, one email a week, and we tell you who's on this week, who's coming in 2 weeks' time. From me, thank you for listening, and back to you, Kathleen.
Thank you. And thank you also very much for tuning in. And if you want to engage with our guests, we encourage you to join our very new Facebook group called the Yakking Show Community Forum. This is a place where you can go and talk with or chat with some of our guests that have been on the show if you have questions for them or even comments. Anyways, we probably will provide a link to our Facebook group below this video as well, aren't we, Peter?
It'll be there. Oh yes, it's there.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well,
Good.
until next time, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.